So we've looked at the first inversion chord when we use chord 1. Now let's use the first inversion position when we use chord 5. So I'm going to demonstrate it quickly and watch the bass. We're going to go from a chord of C major to G major, but the bass is going to move to the third of G major, which is B. Now, doing this runs the risk of making parallel octaves. So let's look really carefully at what happens. So let's start in this position in the right hand with a C in the bass. Now the bass is going to go to B. What does that mean for these voices? So we can keep the G in the soprano, the alto can go to B, but what happens if the tenor goes to B? We get parallel octaves. So this means that the tenor either has to go down to a G, or we can imagine that the tenor and the alto both go to the D. So just to show you those two options again, this is the tenor going down to the G, and tenor going up to the D and sharing it with the alto. Now let's make a different starting position, so I'm going to start up here now. So the bass is going to a B, and the risk is that the soprano also goes to a B, but that creates parallel octaves. So the soprano has to go to a D. Let's look at this position now. Here, the alto and bass are both starting on C. The bass is going to a B, and that means if the alto is not careful, it might also go to a B and create parallel octaves. So this means the alto has to go to a D. If the alto goes to a D, the soprano can either join it there, or it can go up to a G. So let's recap those different ways of moving to a first inversion of chord 5. So in the first position we have these options. Second position we have these options. And in third position we have these options. And for this memorization assignment, we have to practice all of those positions in all 12 keys. In this memorization assignment, we use the first inversion of chord 5, but we practice it in the minor tonality. In this improvisation assignment, we can now incorporate the first inversion of chord 5. So you're going to do short improvisations, they're not going to modulate, and you're going to do one in each of the 12 major keys. I will demonstrate one in C major. In this improvisation assignment, we incorporate the first inversion of chord 5 into improvisations that are in the minor key. So these are just short improvisations. We're not going to do a modulation, but we're going to incorporate chord 5 first inversion, and we're going to practice that in every key. Here's an example in C minor.